Connor Hand spoke to Bob Dhillon, the UKIP candidate.
Nice to meet you, Connor.
Nice to meet you too. Let's get stuck straight into the questions then. Why do you want to be the MP for Warwick and Leamington?
Because I feel I can make a difference to the lives of my area where I've grown up from birth to where I am now, a local businessman. I believe that the candidates at the moment for this area have let us down, and that's why I feel I am the right candidate for this area.
Fantastic. What do you believe that UKIP can do for the people of Warwick and Leamington?
Basically, it can have a third way rather than have the Conservative and Labour way with more debt or more multinationals getting the benefits. I want to have a third way where we concentrate on the lower level and a bottom-up approach rather than the top-down approach.
Specifically looking at the student community now, what do you believe that you personally and the party can offer the student community? I've
always, since 1997, have disagreed with the notion of tuition fees. I think they stop creativity and put a burden of debt onto a student who should be aspiring to do the best he can for the country. And I think if we could take that away from around the necks of the students, I think that would help with the development of this country.
Fantastic. Now, Mr. Dhillon, for those of our viewers who don't know, you were formerly the Mayor of Warwick. So what qualities do you believe that you developed in this role? And of those qualities, which do you believe is most likely to persuade voters to elect you as the new MP?
When I was Mayor of Warwick, I attended the most events ever as a Mayor, which was basically to get to know all of my residents in a short space of time that I was given the opportunity to be the Mayor of Warwick, which was 1 year. So not only did I meet a lot of businessmen through networking, also attended functions and met the people at the various community functions that were taking place. So it gave me an all-round experience to meet people, listen and learn of what matters to them and not actually put my hand up and vote for something that the party says.
Brexit is going to possibly be the major talking point at this election.
Yes.
In the past, UKIP have been very effective in gathering sizable portions of the Eurosceptic vote. But do you feel the Tories have stolen your thunder in light of their lurch to the right?
Basically, I think it's known fact in the papers and everywhere else that I'm a vote Leave candidate at this when the referendum took place. Basically, I believe in conviction, which was basically that a country should have control of its borders, but basically work with other nations to better humankind itself. What I feel let down is Chris White. He's been a Remain advocate in this region, that if the people voted to Remain, then he should have gone to Parliament with that mandate to vote Remain. When he changed sides, that's what I feel MPs let down the people, and why the people do not trust MPs anymore, because they're in it for themselves and not for the electorate.
This question's interrelated, actually. You touched upon Chris White there being the incumbent Conservative MP voting to remain in the European Union. In light of the fact that 42% of the Warwick district voted to leave, do you feel you're appealing directly to those voters?
Well, what I'm saying is that if you believe in something, if I'm a Leave candidate and obviously my area had voted Remain, I would have gone to Parliament to represent them and not myself.
Fantastic. Do you think that will favour you in this election then, being the only outwardly Eurosceptic candidate?
Well, if people believe in MP and what he says, then hopefully they'll vote for me. If they want somebody to put their hands up for the party rather than the public, then obviously they've got other candidates that they can vote for.
Fantastic. One final question, and this is very related to especially the Leamington area, and that is nationally the number of people on food banks, reliant on food banks, has increased dramatically over the past few years. People are sleeping rough in Leamington every night, which is a clear issue. What measures would you take in order to ensure that constituents who find themselves in this situation are alleviated from it?
Basically, I believe that the council should be given a fund. There's plenty of ways that it can work either locally or nationally, where funds can be available to relieve people who've gotten into hardship. We all at some point have our highs and lows, and it's a travesty that a government of any persuasion cannot help its people. There's multi-funding available, and maybe what we need is a single person at the council who can actually go out on the streets, actually deal with the issues, and then obviously a single unified policy is developed within the council. Obviously speaking, that relies on working with the councils and government, getting the funding and working with local councils to deliver what we require at the moment, which is back to a standard of a civilised society where there should be no food banks and no sleeping rough.
Mr. Dhillon, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Connor.